In Telluride, Colorado, Everett Schoen was found dead from a single gunshot to her head.
Police arrived at the scene, found the hole in her head and also the bullet casing, and deduced that she was dead, my guy.
The police recovered the bullet and expected to solve the case using firearms evidence. Unfortunately, they did not have any leads.
Body. No lead, no me, says Mr. Cop. 3 years later.
The police received a phone call from a man who believed that his brother-in-law, Frank Marquise, was responsible for Schoen's death.
My brother killed that lady, and you pigs should go get that boy,
said Mr. Guy who called.
A gun was found on Marquise, but he had already tampered with its barrel, preventing a comparison.
The barrel type and casting don't match. The barrel has been tampered with.
From questioning, a companion of Marquise's, police learned that Marquise had been in Telluride when Schoen was murdered.
Hair sounds. The hair follicle. A hair is structured with the shaft and the follicle. If the follicle is intact, people can extract DNA evidence from it. The shaft is made up of the medulla, the cortex, and the cuticle, as follows. The end of it all.
After they showed him all of the evidence, he confessed.
Mr. Mann said, I did it. I confess. The judge said, yeah, baby.
How do I explain? Okay. What information does the medullary index tell an investigator? It tells them if it's a human or an animal hair. And if it's an animal, it's over 0.5. If it's a human, it's under 0.33. European hair is straight or wavy, and it's small and it's evenly distributed. Asian hair is densely distributed and straight. African hair is kinky, coiled, curly, and densely distributed and clumped. So, hair grows 1.3 centimeters per month, which helps reveal the substances of protein that are in the hair when they do DNA testing, such as heavy metals, poison, or drugs. And then, so 3 examples of natural fibers are wool, silk, cotton.
Oh no. This is the forensics thing for the 7th chapter. Number 3. What information does the medullary index tell an investigator? Whether the hair itself is from a human or animal source. How do you distinguish between human and animal hair? 0.5 or more on the index of the hair equals animal, or 0.33 or less is human hair. Draw and label the 3 different cross-sections of hair, including African, Asian, and European. These are all the different cross-sections. So as the different regions go on, the different structures of hair is apparent because the medullary structure of this, the cross-section is more circular or more oval-shaped. The Asian one is more circular, and the African one is like vertical ovals, but that's an awful drawing. The cuticle scale patterns for a mouse is coronal. They are like little crowns, and they go into each other, which provides a somewhat sturdy structure. The one for cat, should have written the name for that.
Spinial.
It's like little spikes, they go together, which are pretty tough. And then human hair, which I believe is the weakest, but it is just like up and down, like little bitty baby scales. Hair grows at 1.3 centimeters per month. Hair is considered a timeline for whether or not someone has digested chemicals into their system, because if you dissolve away the proteins of the hair, reveals the substances that have been made into the actual hair. Like if someone was like using heroin, or someone died from like lead poisoning or something, it would show up in the middle bit of the hair thingy. 3 natural fibers: wool, cotton, and silk. These are all found in natural sources such as animals and plants and such. 3 synthetic fibers: nylon, polyester, and spandex. Those are all made by human means. Don't look at my toes. Explain the difference between natural and synthetic fibers. Well, I just did that. Natural fibers come from natural sources such as minerals, flowers, animals, etc. Synthetic fibers are anything that's man-made from like plastics and such. So, moving on, explain the following tests and how they're used. So burn test. If the hair burns in a way and the smoke that comes off of it is a dark smoke, that means it is like actual human and animal hair. But if it's synthetic, it's going to have a plasticky smell. It's going to be white. Density test. The more dense the hair, the more likely it is to be an animal. It's the same with the medullary index. The higher the number, the closer to animal it is. The lower the number, the closer to human it is. The refractive index is just how light passes through it. So like it really just shows the pigments of the hair, whether it's black, white, dark, whatever. So the fluorescence, chemicals in hair absorb light and re-emit it at different wavelengths. So that tells what exact chemicals are inside the hair follicle at that time, because other chemicals will reflect different lights out, and it'll tell forensic scientists exactly what substance is in that hair, because it's the same thing as how it's like a timeline, you know. If someone's, you know, shooting up in the bathroom of a Taco Bell, then it'll tell you, hey, this person was most likely shooting something into their veins they shouldn't have, you know. That's kind of a no-no. Dyes, fluorescence test, but, slap a special filter on that baby, and there you go. That's how you find dyes. It's just a big old microscope. They slap something onto it, and it's like, hey, baby, now you can see the dyes. It tells you the different colors. And then chromatography, that is, again, pigment, helps you find the different pigments of hair. I forgot number 2. Number 2, draw and label the 5 different medulla patterns. So, continuous is a solid line down the middle. Interrupted is like the lines in the middle of the road, little dashes and doodads. Fragmented goes between long, short. It's kind of like you're telling someone to, piss off in Morse code. Solid, the middle of it, it's going to be a solid color. The entire thing is unchanging. And then none is most likely found in like white hair and such. It's not really there,
The answer for question 14 is that the significance of the fiber evidence is how it was the only piece of evidence that was used to connect the suspect with all the recent murders. And for question 15 is that the fibers aided in the investigation, as the fibers on Wayne Williams and the victims shares a single cotton fiber from the carpet.